Hi guys. So today I thought I would start my series where I talk about amputee book characters. And so my first pick is Cinder from the Lunar Chronicles, and she isn't technically an amputee. I mean, she is, but she's a cyborg, and I really like that about the story. And so there's gonna be like major plot points that I'm gonna like disclose during this discussion video, I guess. And so if you guys wanted to read series for some reason, like be warned, I'm gonna tell you things that happen. And so mostly I'm gonna tell you guys things that happened concerning being a cyborg, you know. So the biggest thing which happens um in the first book is the plot twist at the end where she's Cinderella. So, um, and then because she is Cinderella, you know, the plot twist is that instead of her shoe falling off, it's the bottom of her foot. And when I read that, you know, back like a year ago, year and a half maybe, I like absolutely loved it because I've totally been there before, you know, as an amputee where I don't know if you guys remember how prosthetics used to be made before. Um, but it had like the thing on the top and then like the foot and then it had like a little screw on the bottom. And so this one time, like way back in like second grade, first grade maybe, where it was like twisting and then throughout the day it twisted so much that it like came off. And so to see that kind of represented in a book was like amazing for me, and I was like, this warms my amputee heart so much, like holy shit. Um and then I thought kind of like that representation was gonna like continue on throughout the book, but it kind of didn't. And then other kind of things I wanted to talk about the series is um being a cyborg is kind of a bad thing. And like I guess this is um typical of like cyberpunk stories almost, but so what happens in the story is that she's a cyborg, and because she's a cyborg, um, they want to use her for experiments and kind of to find a cure for the plague that's going around where she lives and whatnot. And so that's a major plot point. And so again, the idea is that because science has helped you, it's now your turn to help science. And that was kind of a disturbing aspect of this. So I just paused the film thing and I don't really remember where I was. Whoops. Anyways, so kind of other things that happen is her stepmom, who of course is like the evil stepmother, at one point um takes the new foot that Cinder had bought for herself, and she takes it 'cause she's like, you didn't have money for this, like you stole from me, even though she didn't, and whatever. That was part of the story. And then I think that's all I want to tell you guys about the kind of the first book, and then I want to take you guys to the last book, kind of say that I didn't really like how the series ended concerning her cyborgness and kind of being an amputee. Um, obviously, one of the reasons I didn't like how the series ended was because Adri, the stepmother, who at one point took the foot from her and then forced her to use an older one, really bothered me because Adri gets redemption almost, and it's like, Cinder, please be ruthless about this, you know, like she did that to humiliate you. Like, I know you're trying to be a great ruler or whatever. Spoiler, she ends up being a princess. But like, no, she didn't deserve the empathy or the mercy that you gave her, especially because you didn't extend that same mercy to Lavana. And I think I'm gonna probably end up making a separate video for Lavana just because I think it gets into the issue of passing almost, where yeah, I'll leave this for another video actually. The idea of passing. But yeah, at the end of the last book, there's a scene where she's presented with her cyborg foot, the one she no longer uses or whatever, and she throws it into the water because it caused her pain or something, or like emotional pain, like not like physical pain. And I was just really bummed out by that because there have been legs that I've had that have I guess physically, yeah, they've caused me pain, or like they haven't worked the best with my body, but they still mean a lot to me. Like, I'm not gonna throw them away, and I'm not going to like say they weren't worth anything, I guess. Does that make sense? Hold on, I'll pause this again. But yeah, she just throws it away like it didn't mean anything or something, and it just, like, they do. Especially if your tolerance for what's normal and what isn't is kind of like, hi, it's why would you do that, Cinder? Like, how much self-hatred do you have in your heart to do that? And then another thing with the cyborg draft that was going on, she ends up being the princess. Have I said that already? And so she's in a position where she can stop the experimentations and stop the discrimination against cyborgs, and she decides to leave that as an option. She's like, oh, I'll have this, I'll give you this, but you have to lift these laws that have been used against cyborgs, but that's totally optional. And I'm like, what the fuck, Cinder? Like, you're in a position to protect people who are in situations that you were in not so long ago. It's not a bargaining chip. What the fuck? Like, why? Why, Cinder? I don't understand. So I think, I don't know, maybe what I liked about Cinder was very much my own experiences and kind of wanting to have that reflection in what I was reading, maybe. I don't know. But this has gone on way too long, so I'm just gonna stop it there and see if I can edit this maybe. Anyways, see you guys.